Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego, and it's December 27th. I don't know what Karina's doing. It's December 27th. What? This is probably because this is in the way. There, look at that. Okay, very good. Karina said the microphone was causing a blur on the camera, and she was right. It's December 27th, 2025, and Christmas is beyond us and past us. Now we're closing in on New Year's. This is your K1 Visa Green Card channel, where I give you all this free advice where you can learn how to process a K1 visa or a green card for no cost instead of paying immigration attorneys all that money. It's a lot of money, right, to pay for an immigration attorney. But the paperwork is easy when you file a K1 visa, green card application. The paperwork's easy. It's so easy a caveman can do it, or a cave woman. But I'm not an immigration attorney. I don't give you legal advice. I don't work for USCIS. But I got 12 years plus experience doing this. I've been doing this so long I can do it in my sleep. I can put a green card package together in my sleep or in an armchair. Okay? And Jody Fairfield. Now, Jody's a member of this channel. Hello, you two. Hope you had a great Christmas. Jody, we had a great Christmas. As always, it was good because we are together. And I don't know who that is. My brother is sending me a text message. My brother, instead of watching the live stream, he sends me a text message. Why isn't he watching the live stream? Anyway, it's all good. My brother Greg's got a good YouTube channel. And hopefully he gets his second YouTube channel going. Now, if you are a member of this channel, don't forget, if you've been a member for 4 months, 5 months, and you want some coffee, Karina has her own coffee company. And if you want some coffee, if you've been a member of this channel for 4 or 5 months, we'll send you a free bag of coffee. Or maybe you want a t-shirt right here. Karina has a t-shirt company. She has a coffee company and a t-shirt company. So she makes t-shirts, I don't know, whatever you want. Whatever t-shirt you want, Karina can make it. Look at that. Yes, Karina made these. She designed it. And she makes them. Any color, I mean, seriously, look at this t-shirt right here. Pretty good, right? And so, and then there's this one. I like this one. This one's pretty cool. There you go. So if you've been a member of this channel for 4 or 5 months, let's say 4 or 5 months, and you want a t-shirt, you want some coffee, let us know. Because as a member of the channel, you have our email address and you have our phone number, and you can send me an email, send an email with the design you want for your t-shirt. Design yourself a t-shirt, send us an email, and Karina will make it for you. And then mail it to you. And if you want some coffee, here you go. Now, this is Supremo coffee. It comes from Medellin, Colombia. It's very hard to get. This is a limited supply. It's hard to get. So anyway, there you go. Let's see. What questions do we have on K1 visas and green cards? If you got any questions, that's why we're here. Now, my brother, he keeps sending text messages. Let's see what he's sending. I don't know. Greg's got a good YouTube channel. And he says he's putting his YouTube channel together for G.I. Joe. And he sent us a Merry Christmas thing. And it was a nice, quiet Christmas. Oh, he said his t-shirts arrived. Yes, the t-shirts arrived, and thanks. I will get the money to you next time we get together. I've been organizing the movie room. Okay, so he's going to pay me for the t-shirts. I made 5 t-shirts for him. G.I. Joe t-shirts. Anyway. It's December 27th. It's 66 degrees. It's been a warm day today. So when it's warm in Florida, we get fog. So you got to drive real carefully in the fog. And also, I've been keeping my finger on the pulse of immigration, the green card applications, the K1 visa applications, spousal visas. If you need help with any of these, let me know. If you don't know how to fill out a 2-year green card application, you can't make any mistakes. If you make a mistake, it's going to be a big problem. You're going to end up getting your green card denied. Okay? So number one, don't make any mistakes, especially on the 484. which is the affidavit of support. When you are applying for a K1 visa, okay, you get your NOA-1 letter, you get your NOA-2 letter. Then what happens? Then the service center is going to sit on your K1 visa application until they ship it off to the National Visa Center. The National Visa Center is going to get it in New Hampshire. They're going to review it. They're going to go over it to make sure there's no mistakes. If there's nothing wrong with it, they will mail it to the embassy in a consular pouch using DHL couriers. It goes to the embassy or the consulate. And then when they receive it, you're going to get the ready status from the embassy, a packet 1, packet 2 email. Then when you get the packet 1, packet 2 email, or packet 2, packet 3 email, whatever you want to call it, when the embassy contacts you, they're going to give you a list of instructions on what to do. They'll send you an email of the name of doctors and the civil surgeons authorized by the State Department to do the medical exam. You don't want to schedule the medical exam until you've scheduled the visa interview. What if you schedule the medical exam, okay, and then it takes you 3 months to schedule the visa interview? So what are you going to do? Go to your medical exam before the visa interview? The medical exam is only good for 6 months. It's not a good idea. You pay the consular fee, you schedule your visa interview, you schedule your biometrics interview. Then, once you have a date scheduled for your visa interview at the embassy or the consulate, then schedule the medical exam 2 weeks before the visa interview. Okay? So what are you going to have to do at the medical exam? Well, you're going to have to bring some passport photos with you. You're going to have to bring a copy of the email from the embassy listing the names of the people who are eligible for the K1 visa or the K2 visa. You're going to have to bring, documents with you, your passport, birth certificate, etc. There's a whole bunch of stuff you got to do. You don't just schedule a medical exam and you haven't even got your visa interview set up yet. It's going to create all kinds of problems for you. Okay, so pay attention, class. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? So you got your visa interview scheduled, the biometrics, and then you go schedule your medical exam. So then you got everything, or then you got all your ducks in a row, right? You got all your ducks in a row. You go to the medical exam. You bring your passport, birth certificate, the email from the embassy with the list of people authorized for the K1, the K2. You get the medical exam out of the way, and you want to do it about 2 weeks before the visa interview, so that gives the doctor time. If there's anything they want to, if the doctor has any questions, you got to do this, you got to do that. You got time to do it before you go to your visa interview. Francois Livingston, good evening, Diego and Karina. Francois, what's going on? How is Francois? How's Hamid doing? It's what today is? It's today Saturday, right? Where does the time go? I don't know. It's the weekend already. It's Saturday, December 27th. It's almost New Year's. And Francois Livingston, no, not much going on. Got snow yesterday. Well, it sucks to be you, because we didn't get any snow yesterday. And that's the way I like it. But if you like snow, that's okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with snow as long as you like it. Me personally, I can't stand it. That's why I live in Florida. That's why we live in Florida. If I want snow, I'll Google snow. Hey, check out the snow, Corinna. Do you like this? ¿Te gusta esta? Es bien, es muy bien. But it's in the YouTube. It's in a computer. It's not in real life. When I lived in Albuquerque, New Mexico, when I was in the Navy, I lived in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Every winter it would snow. And then I have to drive to work. I can't drive in snow. I mean, I pull out of the driveway and the SUV would do circles. Then I'm calling my boss. Hey, I'm not going to be able to make it to work because I just made 3 circles in the driveway because of the snow. David Vanderberg. Now, David, welcome. Brand new member to the channel. We welcome David. David Vanderberg just signed up as a member. We welcome you as a VIP member. That means go into the videos, David, on the members channel site and look for my number, my cell number and email address. That way you can contact me if you got urgent questions on this green card thing. Let's see here. So the question from David, Okay, good. How long generally will it take to receive the email from the embassy after the embassy post ready? It's about 3 weeks. It's about 2 to 3 weeks. Because remember, David, what you're doing now, when you get the ready status, that doesn't mean it's ready. When the MVC tells you it's ready, it doesn't mean it's ready. It means it's either in the air, flying on a plane somewhere. And when the embassy sends you an email, they're going to send you an email. They're going to say, look, this is, hopefully you used your email on the K1 visa application, not your beneficiaries. When I filed for Karina's K1 visa, okay, I used my email address on the K1 visa application. Why did I do that? So that way, the NVC, USCIS, the embassy, they're emailing me. So I know what the heck's going on with the process. So I get an email from the NVC. There you go. Your case is ready. But was it ready? No, it wasn't. I emailed the U.S. Embassy in Bogota, Colombia. Hey, it's Diego checking in. This is the receipt number from the NOA2 letter in the subject line of the message. This is my full name, Karina's full name, her date of birth, passport number. What's the status of Karina's K1 visa? And then the embassy replied back in 3 days. They said, Diego, it's in process. Give us time to process it, which took them, I think it was 11 or 12 days. So after 11 or 12 days, now looking at 2 weeks, they sent me the packet 3, packet 4 email. I go, oh, here's an email in the spam. It went to spam. I clicked on the email from the embassy, and it said, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. Go to U.S. Travel Docs and check. So I went into U.S. Travel Docs and created a profile, created a password for Colombia, because Karina lived in Colombia for almost 6 years. So, she's from Venezuela, but she lived in Colombia. Okay. So I went into U.S. Travel Docs, followed the directions on the email from the embassy in Bogota. And they gave me the names of the doctors that were authorized by the State Department to do medical exams. So the first thing I did was I logged in to U.S. Travel Docs, filled out the DS-160 with Karina, submitted it to the embassy. They received the DS-160. Then I waited for an opening to create an interview. We had to wait for an interview date to pop up. This is October of 2023, right? October 2023. So every day I'm going into the website looking for an open calendar day, but there's no appointments available. Then in November, I clicked on there in November, and then early in the morning, 4:00 in the morning, I went in and there was availability. Okay. 1 day open in November for an interview. And this is 2023 for an interview and for biometrics. I paid the consular fee, $265, I believe it is. I can't remember exactly how much the consular fee is now, but it's right around there. Paid the consular fee, scheduled the visa interview in the calendar. I jumped on that block in the calendar, took that date, boom. That now belongs to Diego and Karina for the K1, for the scary K1 visa interview. Then I called Karina. I said, hey, I scheduled your visa interview for November 16th, November 16th, 2023. She goes, okay, great. So then Karina scheduled the medical exam, which was about a week and a half before that. Okay. She did that in person. She jumped on the bus, went down to the hospital, and scheduled the medical exam. I was still in the United States. So after Karina scheduled her medical exam, she needed her passport. She needed the packet 3, packet 4 email from the embassy, because the doctor's not going to schedule a medical exam unless the doctor can see, the administrator can see you are actually authorized for a freaking K1 visa. And then she had to get these pictures taken that were a specific size. They weren't passport photos. They were a little bigger than a passport photo for the doctor's office. Okay. That's how I did it. And on October 31st, 2023, I flew to Bogota. I flew from, where was it? Pensacola to Miami. And then I flew from Miami to Bogota in an airplane like this. Actually, it was American Airlines. This is Avianca. I flew American Airlines to Bogota. And then I got up and then I went through Colombian immigration, and they asked me all the same questions. Hello, Diego, you back again? You were just here, 2 months ago? I'm like, yeah, I'm back again. They started laughing. Got through immigration, and then Karina was waiting outside for me at the airport. Then we jumped on the bus. Was it a taxi? No. Was it a taxi or bus? Yeah. What? Taxi. We jumped in a taxi. We went back to our apartment in Bogota, and then went and got something to eat. And then we knew that we had the medical exam scheduled. We had the K1 visa scheduled, the interview, the biometrics was scheduled. And I brought with me in my carry-on, okay, the I-134 filled out and signed by myself, my tax returns, my tax transcripts, my pay stubs, my bank statements for 12 months, letter from the boss, the broker that I worked for. I was in real estate back then. I'm retired now. I've retired so many times. I just can't count of how many times I've been retired. But now I'm doing YouTube for you guys. So I went back to Colombia, and then we went to the medical exam, and I'm in the doctor's office on the 9th floor. Was it the 9th floor, Piso 9? Mm-hmm. And I'm just waiting for her to get her medical exam done, and she did the X-ray and everything. Now we paid for the chest X-ray in cash, I believe, or credit card. Now we used the credit card to pay for the chest X-ray. We paid for the medical exam. In Bogota, you got to pay cash, efectivo, paga para efectivo in Bogota para America. So we paid cash for the medical exam and then we used my credit card to pay for the chest X-ray. But the X-ray tech jolted the damn thing. Karina's standing there getting her chest X-ray, and the X-ray tech nudged the freaking machine. So the X-ray came back blurry. So we got a call the next day the second day from the doctor saying, Karina, you're going to have to come back and repeat your chest X-ray. It's a little blurry here. I'm like, what the heck? So we had to go all the way back to the medical office. And then she had to repeat the chest X-ray. And then we had to wait another couple of days for her results to come back. And this time it came back okay, perfectly good, no problems. Medical exam's done, everything's good. Everything's perfect. And Jody says, David Vandenberg, okay, good. How long will it take? 2 to 3 weeks for the email. And it depends on what country, David. What country is your beneficiary in? Jody Fairfield, and did they take away any of those documents at the visa interview? They didn't take any of my sons. Yeah, they took the I-134. They took my tax return. They took my tax transcripts. I mean, they just sorted it all out on this big desk, and they took everything. I don't care. They can have it. It's less crap for me to carry back to the United States with Karina, right? It reduced my carry-on baggage. And then I had a complete copy of the K1 visa with me in Colombia. It's like this thick. And then what I did was I went through the K1 visa in our apartment, and I threw away all the crap we didn't need and kept all the pictures, because we're going to keep the pictures. Singapore, David Vandenberg, Singapore. Okay, beautiful country, Singapore. Very nice. Excellent. So I will do some investigating for you and find out how long it's going to take for you to get the email from the U.S. Embassy in Singapore. Okay, I'm going to check into it for you. Jody, wow, they didn't take any, just asked a few questions and approved. There you go. Well, you got to remember, Karina's from Venezuela, okay? And for some reason, Venezuela has a bad rap, okay? Well, you can understand. David Vandenberg, okay, then to complete the DS-160 before the consulate letter. You can do that. Whose email should be used when setting up the online account when booking the appointment? Use your email, David. You want to be in complete control of this. Don't put your beneficiary under that kind of stress. I used my email for the DS-160, for the embassy, everything. Everything came to me, and I handled everything. I even filled out the DS-160, but on the DS-160, I had to put on there that I was a helper. that I included my name as a helper because normally the beneficiary does that. But I did it because it's all in English and Karina couldn't speak English. So I did it. I put my name on it, but then Karina signed it. So the question is, go ahead. Yeah, you can complete the DS-160, submit it. But remember, it's only good for 12 months when you submit it. It's only good for 12 months. Whose email should be used when setting up the online account? Use your email account, David. Use your email account. And then that way, all the information is going to be coming back to you. Okay? If you get a question from immigration at the embassy, it's going to come to you. And your beneficiary in Singapore can relax and you just handle everything. You take care of it. Pay the consular fee. Okay? Help her with the DS-160. Submit it. Schedule the visa interview and the biometrics. Do it. You do all this via your email. And that way, you know it's getting done right, number one. Okay? I'm not saying your beneficiary doesn't know how to fill out a DS-160 or do anything like that, but you want to be in control of this thing. Okay? Jody, wow, they didn't take any, just ask questions. Bogota was excellent. True. Well, yeah, Bogota was good. I lived in Bogota with Karina for almost 3 years. Karina lived in Bogota for almost 6 years. I lived there for almost 3 years. The embassy was great. They were good people there. I mean, I liked it. Nice people at the embassy in Bogota. No issues with them at all. But remember, Karina's from Venezuela, so she was under stricter guidelines. She had to get Interpol police certificate done. So she went to her K1 visa interview November 16th, okay, 2023, and they said, here's your white paper, you know what, you got your visas approved, but we can't issue it to you till we get an Interpol police certificate. And Karina's like, what? And I'm like, what the hell is an Interpol police certificate? Where did that come from? What bush did that come out from under? That's new to me. And I know this process like the back of my hand. I'm probably the most experienced person in K1 visas on the planet, even more so than some of these immigration attorneys who've never once brought somebody to the United States. They've only done paperwork. So Karina, as strong as she is, she went down to the Interpol and started the process for an Interpol police certificate. And they kept a hold of her passport at the embassy in Bogota. The U.S. Embassy kept her passport. She went down to the Interpol, and she was down there 3 or 4 times in a month saying, where's my freaking Interpol letter? And they did a background check on her with Interpol. It came back, obviously, no problem. Interpol emailed Karina the Interpol police certificate. Plus, she had to get a letter from the president of Colombia, right? A reference letter from the president of Colombia to say she had been in Colombia for 6 years with no problems. And she got the letter from the president of Colombia, well, his secretary, but it was his name. Yeah, Karina is a good person, exemplary character, no problems. Boom, here's a letter from the president of Colombia. Boom, here's an Interpol police certificate. We emailed them to the embassy, I did, in Bogota, and the next day her K1 visa was issued. That quick. I looked on the online account status. It said ready for pickup. So we dashed on the bus. We got on 3 buses. We went down to the office and we picked up her K1 visa. We went in to pick it up and they said, Karina, we need this document. We got to have a copy of this document. So we had to run across the street, get out of line, walk across the street, find a copy machine, make a copy of this document. We went back to the office and said, here you go. And then they said, no, we need this. I'm like, dude, how many more? This is our last run, guy. Either freaking give us the freaking visa or, I'm going to come around there and get it. And he said, one more paperwork. I said, okay. We went back across the street, made another copy of this paperwork, came back, and boom, they gave her K1 visa. I looked at it I opened up her passport to make sure there's no spelling mistakes in there and there was no problems. It was perfect. No errors, nothing. The embassy in Bogota did a fantastic job, even though we got jerked around by the guy that was issuing them, giving them out in the packet. Then we got this big packet of stuff like this. and we had to go buy a bag from a store. We went into one of the stores there, and we had to buy a bag just to put her K1 visa application in it. And we put it in there. And then this was now December 16th. It took a month to get Interpol police certificate and to get her K1 visa after her initial visa interview at the embassy. So December 16th, December 17th, we then ran down to the airport, El Dorado, and purchased one-way plane tickets to Miami. So we're in line, and it cost me 4 times as much for the freaking plane ticket now because it was Christmas week. When I was trying to buy plane tickets in November, I didn't buy any plane tickets in November. I didn't buy them until her K1 visa was in her passport, and I was looking at it. I didn't care if we had a visa interview scheduled or not. I didn't buy any plane tickets till we had the visa in hand, and I'm glad we didn't. But the one-way plane ticket for the both of us in November was $300 from Bogota to Miami. When it came time to buy the plane tickets in December to return to the United States in January 3rd, 2024, it was over $1,200. So the price of plane tickets went up like 3 or 4 times because it was Christmas week. Why? What? So we got hit with a massive plane ticket bill because of an Interpol police certificate and a letter from the president of Colombia. But it's okay. She's here. She has her 2-year green card. We made it through it. It was a freaking nightmare, but we made it through it. Okay? And in March of 2026, in a few months from now, we're going to file for her 10-year green card. Granted, Karina's from Venezuela, so they're going to put a pause on her adjudication, but it's only temporary. Okay? They said, well, we have to put a pause on people from Venezuela, blah, because it's a rogue country. No, it's not a rogue country. There's nothing wrong with Venezuela. The problem is the freaking government, Maduro. He's the problem, not the people. The people of Venezuela are great. Now, if there was a member of Maduro's government trying to get a K1 visa, he put a pause on his freaking application. Because there's the problem, not the people. Okay? So we're not worried about it. If they want to re-adjudicate Karina's green card, go ahead. They can knock themselves out. But let me tell you, if they jack around with my family, I'm going to slap a lawsuit on them. And we're going to win. Because we're going to be complying with CFR 8, Section 2 of the Immigration and Nationality Act. We're good to go. Francois, at the end of the day, all is worth it for once we left. Right, that's correct. Karina's sitting here, nice, and we're glad. We've been married almost 2 years. We're going to get her 10-year green card. Then she's going to become a U.S. citizen. I don't care about executive orders blocking Venezuelans from becoming U.S. citizens. It's unconstitutional. Only the Congress can do that. A president can't block somebody from becoming a U.S. citizen. Only the Congress can do that through legislation. So the executive order is going to be a temporary, thorn in the side of Venezuelans in America. Just a temporary. And presidents come and go. So we ain't worried about it. And it's right, Francois. At the end of the day, it's worth it. It was hard. We went through a lot to get Karina's K1 visa. I mean, a letter from the president of Colombia to testify to her good character. Well, we can understand that. She'd been living in Colombia for 6 years, almost 6 years. And the Colombian government, under the president of Colombia, said, yeah, Karina's exemplary character. No problems. And then the Interpol police certificate was ran on her to see if she was a member of any communist organizations, because of Maduro is a freaking, he's a criminal is what he is. He's a socialist Marxist criminal. And I'm surprised that he's still in power. And what is Trump waiting for? The U.S. Navy. I spent 20 years in the Navy. We got rid of Noriega in a weekend. What are we waiting on getting rid of Maduro? I mean, what are we waiting for? Seriously, it's not difficult. The man was a former bus driver. He's got the technical, strategic, tactical skills of a low IQ idiot. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Trump should have taken Maduro and put him on a plane to North Korea 6 months ago. Instead, we're chasing down Venezuelan oil tankers and then taking the oil. Well, that doesn't solve the problem. The problem is Maduro, not the oil tankers or the crews of the oil tankers. That's not the problem. Really, it's not. Maduro and his little group of communists is the problem. I was just on the phone today with Karina's sister in Venezuela. They were cooking this good fish dinner, right? Karina's sister making this beautiful fish dinner. And I said to Karina's sister, I said, hey, Karina, I said, when Venezuela's free, we're going to come on vacation to Venezuela. And she's like, yeah, come on, balance. They want Maduro gone too. And it's not hard to do. We know where he is at every minute. Trump even has his cell number. Why doesn't Trump call him and say, hey, dude, you got a week to leave? Seriously. I don't know. It's one thing to be all blustering and putting, 20% of the U.S. Navy in the Caribbean. That's one thing. But actually doing something, like helping him leave, that's another thing. But Karina went through a lot to get her K-1 visa, and she went through a lot to get her green card. And now we got to put up with bureaucratic crap coming out of the White House because she's from Venezuela. I'm just thankful that we have a republic with a representative government. And when people start going after green card holders, they lose support from the general public. It's hard to win an election if you start arresting American citizens and accusing them of being illegal immigrants and throwing them in detention. Who does that? And then deporting green card holders who were members of the U.S. Army because of minor infractions, and then arresting the wives of American citizens at green card interviews because they overstayed their visa by a couple of days. That's not how you operate a freaking country. That's how you lose a freaking election. Seriously. If the Republicans keep on doing this, okay, they're responsible. They're in charge of the Congress, right? They're in the White House. They're in the Senate. If they keep on jacking around with Americans, they're going to be fired at the next election. And I'm just going to sit here and watch. Now, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm independent. If you follow the Constitution, you got my vote. But when you start attacking American citizens' families just because they're from Venezuela or from Sierra Leone or from Cuba, then you lost my support. The Cuban people aren't the problem. It's the freaking government. If a member of the Cuban government was applying for a K-1 visa, you put them on a hold. You put them in pause. You block them from getting their K-1s. But you don't block a Cuban married to an American who's a good person, just wants to be free. I'm sick of this crap, man. I can't wait for the elections next year. Karina's going to get her green card. She'll get her 10-year green card, no problem. And she'll get U.S. citizenship too. And Trump will be gone. He can go and, irritate other people somewhere else. He's done a good job with illegal immigration. He's done a fantastic job kicking the illegal immigrants out of our country. But when you start going after green card holders for no reason other because of where they were born, that's not American at all. That's freaking, that's just fascist right there. And that's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. Okay. But my job here to help you on this channel is to help you get your K-1 visa, get your green card. I don't care if you're from one of these 20 countries that Trump doesn't like. Well, we don't like the people from Togo. Why not? What did they do for you? What did they ever do to you? What did they do? Nothing. It's just because they're, maybe because their government sucks. Okay, well, then you put visa restrictions on the freaking government of Togo, not on the people. On the government. You put visa restrictions on the government of Venezuela, not the people. You don't stop an American from reuniting with his bride from Venezuela because the Venezuelan government sucks. Doesn't work that way in the Constitution of the United States. And I just love helping you all get your green cards and your K1 visas. And if you're from one of those countries, like as somebody from Sierra Leone was a little concerned, I said, just relax. Just relax. An executive order is just temporary. It's just temporary, and it doesn't last forever. And they go away with elections. Okay? So Karina's going to get her letter from immigration in April or May saying, here's your extension letter on your 2-year green card for 48 months. So she's going to get a letter of extension on her 2-year green card until June of 2030. President Trump's not even going to be in office in June of 2030. Okay? So it's so we get, don't worry, guys. Just relax. I'm so looking forward to seeing Venezuela become a free country, and then I'm looking forward to also taking Karina to Venezuela to meet her sister and her mom, her dad, her family. I mean, honestly, right now we're not going to leave the United States at all. If you are from one of those countries that Trump doesn't like, okay. Don't leave the country if you have a green card. Still make sure you lift the conditions off your 2-year green card. Do the paperwork. File for the 10-year green card. It's going to sit on a desk, on a shelf somewhere for a while, but it's only temporary. Okay? And in a couple of days, there are immigration attorneys all across the United States who are going to drop hammers on top of the head of the USCIS director for not doing his freaking job. Instead of listening to an executive order, he should be following the law as stipulated by the Immigration and Nationality Act, which was signed by Congress, not by some individual who doesn't like people from Venezuela. I mean, think of all those people from Venezuela who had temporary protective status, TPS. They came here to this country legally. If it was me, I would be giving them permanent residency. They are the most patriotic, conservative people you could possibly meet. Talk about putting the fear of God into Democrats, making Venezuelans Americans. It's going to grow the Republican Party exponentially, because most of them are Republican in their minds. So what does Trump do? Oh, he terminates their TPS. I'm like, seriously? Really? Why'd you do that? Well, maybe he wants to hurt the Republican Party. I don't know. It's not my problem. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. Okay? But if, you're watching this live stream, remember these words. In 2026, there's an election, and the Republicans are going to lose the control of Congress. They're going to lose their ass hand over fist, because they are supporting, maybe not all of them, but the president's Republican, well, supposedly, right? Now, President Reagan, when he was president, I was in the Navy when he was president, and what he did was he secured the border between Mexico, and then you know what he did? He gave illegal immigrants legal status, so long as they didn't break any, if they weren't criminals, they didn't have any felonies or anything like that. If they were good, law-abiding people working here for years and years and years, he gave them legal status. That was pretty wise to do that, okay? Because most of these people were married to Americans, they had children born here, they were American, and they are voters. I don't understand what's going on right now in our country. Really, I don't. Let's see. Ernest Baba, how long does it take for your interview after the National Visa Center approves your case? Well, the NVC doesn't approve anything. They're a clearinghouse. The National Visa Center doesn't approve visas, okay? Because it's been a month, and the NVC approved my wife's case. No, they didn't. Are you in a spousal visa, or are you in a K1 visa? Ernesta Baba, the National Visa Center do not approve visas. They have no authority to do that. Okay? Only a USCIS service center or an embassy can approve or deny a visa. That's it. The MVC doesn't do that. They have no authority to do that. The MVC, all they do is go through the paperwork to make sure there's no mistakes in it. And if there's any mistakes in the paperwork, they send it back to the USCIS service center. If there's no mistakes in the paperwork, they send it to the embassy or the consulate, depending on how busy the embassy or the consulate is. So if the U.S. embassy in, let's say, Ghana is busy, they're backlogged with K1 visas, the MVC will hold on to the K1 visa or the spousal visa until the embassy in Ghana has got space to set an interview. Okay? So when Karina's K1 visa, my wife, beautiful wife, here she is. Karina, say hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
When Karina got her K1 visa approved by the service center in California, the service center in California sent it to the National Visa Center. The National Visa Center in New Hampshire sat on it for 2.5 months. When the U.S. Embassy in Bogota had space for visa interviews, then her case was mailed to the U.S. Embassy in Bogota by DHL courier in a diplomatic pouch on an airplane. Her K1 visa arrived in Bogota, Colombia, and then they were sending me, the MVC said ready status and all this other stuff, which was not really true, because the real ready status comes when the U.S. Embassy in Bogota sent me an email saying, here's your packet 3, packet 4 email. Now you're going to go ahead and process the application for the K1. So to answer your question, Ernesta Baba, number one, the MVC don't approve visas. Number two, when the embassy in the country that your beneficiary lives in has space available for a visa interview, the embassy will call the MVC, or the MVC will call the embassy and say, hey, we got this approved K1 visa here sitting at the National Visa Center. Are you guys able to receive K1 visas at this time? And the embassy in Bogota, Colombia, Manila, Philippines, the consulate in Mumbai, India, in Islamabad, Pakistan, in Ecuador, in wherever, in Addis Ababa, they say we are available to do K1 visa interviews. The MVC will then mail the approved K1 visa package to that country. The embassy will then receive it and start to process it. Now, you're going to be getting an email from the MVC saying ready status, this, and in transit and all this other stuff. Disregard all that crap. The email you're looking for is the one from the embassy that's packet 3, packet 4, that gives you the instructions on how to pay for and schedule the visa interview. That's what you're waiting for. So if you get a Estaba Baba, my wife, she's in the Congo, beautiful. And the MVC told me they're already sent, but I never got anything from them. Okay, so the MVC told me that the U.S. Embassy in Bogota was closed because of COVID in 2023. My wife, Karina, then my beautiful fiance, went down to the U.S. Embassy in Bogota and she said, are you guys closed because of COVID? And I said, no, we're processing K1 visas. We're just backlogged right now. So we didn't accept any K1 visas for August of 2023. We're backlogged. So in August of 2023, the U.S. Embassy in Bogota, Colombia, told the MVC, don't send us any more K1 visas, not till September. So what does the MVC do? They send out emails saying that the embassy was closed because of COVID. I mean, seriously. So I emailed the MVC and I said, you got to quit telling lies to people. Quit using old emails. Don't be freaking lazy. So when the MVC tell you something, just hold off on accepting it as real. What you need to do is contact the U.S. Embassy in the Congo, okay? Forget what the MVC told you. Contact the U.S. Embassy in the Congo in an email and ask them for an update on the status of your wife's K1 visa application. In the subject line of your email, put the receipt number from your NOA2 letter. When you got your K1 visa approved, you received an NOA2 letter, right? Right? Let's start first. Nod your head, right? I got an NOA2 letter. And on the NOA2 letter is a receipt number, right? On that, you go into you put in the subject line your wife's name and receipt number. And in the body of the email, you put her full name, her date of birth, her passport number, and her visa status, K1. Okay? And say, hey, dear Mr. Consular Officer, please respectfully, what's the status of my wife's K1 visa application? The NVC says it's ready. You don't have their email. Well, you can find it very easily if you go into US Travel Docs. Go in here. I don't know if you can see what I'm writing. Go into US Travel Docs. .gov. I think it's .gov. Karina's saying I missed the T. Go into ustraveldocs.gov and look for the U.S. Embassy in Congo website. And let me space that out. You can find the emails to the U.S. Embassy in Congo. I could probably do it right here on the phone. Right here. You can find it. You can go into the, now remember, it's a non-immigrant visa. When a K1 visa is a non-immigrant visa. Okay? But go into US Travel Docs, look for Congo, and look for their contact information, and then email them. I mean, do you want me to help you? I mean, I could do it right here. It's not difficult to do. You just got to learn how to do this. I know it's stressful enough, right? US Travel Docs, right? US Travel Doc, let's go Congo. Boom. Africa, right? It's in Africa, right? It's going to be in the U.S. Embassy in Kinshasa, right? Democratic Republic of Congo in Kinshasa. Or there's the U.S. Embassy in Brazzaville, right? Look at that. I mean, if I can do it, you can do it. Let's see, what else? So ustraveldocs.com, it's ustraveldocs.com. Okay? So it's ustraveldocs.com, not .gov. See how long it's been since I've done this? Quite a long time, right? ustraveldocs.com. See that? And there it is. And their main portal is right here. And that's how you go into their website. And here it is. Here's the website. There's the U.S. Embassy website for Congo. Right here. And then it tells you what to do. Right here. Okay? You got it? I mean, if you were a member of the channel, I would do it for you. But that way you'd have my phone number and email. US Travel Docs. David Vanderberg says their website was messed up. You might have to put NA in the boxes. Who the US Travel Docs website's messed up? I just logged in there. I don't know. Maybe it is. It could be. But that's how you do it. ustraveldocs.com, go to Congo. Look for the Congo. And apparently there's 2 embassies in the Congo. Must be a big country. It's in Africa. I don't know. I've never been. I've been to Africa. I've been to North Africa. I've been to South Africa. But I've never been to the Congo. But I'm sure it's a beautiful country. And, and I'm here to help you do this. And remember, if you are a member of this channel, you've got my phone number and my email address. And the way to find my phone number and email address is to go into the members only videos and look for the video that says contact Diego. That's how you find my phone number and email address. Go into the members only videos and look for the video that says contact Diego. And then you'll have my email. Then you can email me. You can contact me. Okay? And if you want Karina to make you a t-shirt, here you go. Yes, look at that. Kichimba Parase. What an awesome t-shirt. She can make anything you want as long as there's no profanity on there. We won't do that. And, as long as there's no profanity, send us an email with what you want on your t-shirt design and we'll make a t-shirt for you. Okay? You could get one. My wife got her K1 visa and all I got was this lousy t-shirt. I don't know. But I've been talking for almost an hour and I'm here to answer all your questions. I just helped Ernest Ibaba. Did I help you? Do you need any more help from me? Do you understand what I said to do? ustraveldocs.com, not .gov.com. Look for the Congo. Then if you Google it on your phone, it's going to call up the embassy of the U.S. Embassy in the Congo. And then there's going to be contact information in there. And then you can find out, and then you can contact the embassy and say, hey, what's going on with my wife's K1 visa? Assuming that you used your email address on the K1 visa application. If you used your wife's email address in the Congo, then she's going to get all the information. And you're not going to have a clue what's going on unless she tells you. When Karina was in Colombia, she was relaxed. She went to her day job every day. She was working 6 days a week, doing a great job managing all these ice cream stores, and she didn't worry about nothing. I did all the heavy lifting. I scheduled the interview. I paid the visa fee. I did the DS-160 with her. Okay, I did all the heavy lifting because I was getting all the emails from the embassy in Bogota. I was getting all the emails from the NVC in New Hampshire. And I handled it. And American citizen sponsors, you should be handling it for your beneficiary too. Okay? Just my opinion. But I don't know. I want to help you guys get your green cards and your K1 visas. I want to see your family reunited. And I also don't want you to sweat the load and panic over this block on green card adjudications for these 20 countries. Don't panic over that, okay? That can only be done by the Congress of the United States. If you're watching YouTube channels and you watch somebody make a YouTube video scaring the living pants off of you about this and this and that, don't be. Only worry about it when the Congress signs it, the Senate approves it, and the president signs it. Executive orders are temporary things, that's all. Any questions, guys, before I go? It's Saturday, it's the weekend. I want you to go enjoy your weekend. Go and have fun. And try not to worry about this green card process or the K1 visa process. You're going to get the K1 visas. You're going to get your appointments set. You just got to follow the process and you got to be patient. Okay? That's it. Follow the process and be patient. And you'll get there. Imagine how Karina felt after waiting almost 2 years for a K1 visa appointment because of freaking COVID. She finally got it. I finally was able to schedule her K1 visa interview. And then she went and they said, now you're going to have to get an Interpol police certificate and a letter from the president of Colombia. And she's like, how long is that going to take? And they said maybe 3 or 4 months. No. Karina got it done in 4 weeks. She got the letter from the president of Colombia in 10 days. Screw this 4 months. Karina was on it, baby. Drisak, let me see. Idris, how do you spell your name here? Idris Sakamara. When can you file for the citizenship when you are on the 2-year green card? You can file for U.S. citizenship 3 years from the issue date on your 2-year green card, if you are married to an American citizen. 3 years from the issue date, okay, of the 2-year green card. 3 years from the issue date of the 2-year green card, you can file your N400 and apply to become a U.S. citizen. Okay? And I highly recommend you do that. The sooner you become a U.S. citizen, the sooner you can avoid all this relentless stress and paperwork and stuff. We know it's tough, guys. And that's it, guys. We're out of here. Thanks for that question, Idris Sakamara. I don't want to mess up your name. And we'll see you at the next live stream, which is going to be Monday, right? Monday? See you guys Monday. Hang in there.